Tarumbeta italia katika anga.
Like this. That is how the trumpet will sound.
IKONINI. So jana at 3:52 p.m. Capital FM walibaki wamepost Cleophas Malala set to exit Gachagua's DCP for UDA. And ilikuwa ama this was not the first time hii story imeanza ku make like headlines ama kuanza rumble in the underground, because I think the first person nilichekia kibonga jo story ilikuwa ni Le McQueen ama Lee. And wacha tucheki vile now Capital walibaki wameripoti story. So ikakuwa ni Cleophas Malala preparing to dump Gachagua led DCP for Ruto's UDA sources. Then ikaendelea ikasema Cleophas Malala is set to quit Gachagua's DCP for UDA following fallout over the Malava by-election, sources says, despite Gachagua dismissing the claims. Then ikakuwa fresh cracks have emerged within the Democracy for the Citizens Party, with credible sources indicating that Deputy Party Leader Cleophas Malala is on the verge of exiting the Rigathi Gachagua-led political outfit. Then ikakuwa Malala's prolonged absence from the public party activities has fueled speculation of an imminent fallout, with insiders now confirming that the former Kakamega senator is preparing to decamp. Sources say Malala is expected to join President William Ruto's UDA, where he previously served as the interim Secretary General before being pushed out. Alafu ikakuwa Malala will be exiting DCP. It's now only a matter of timing before he makes the move official. And vile umecheki inasema that this came after Gachagua mwenyewe alikuwa amedismiss the claims. Na kitu ilikuwa funny ni he didn't just dismiss the claims akiwa peke yake, walikuwa na anaitwa Malala, unacheki. So Gachagua akadismiss hii story. And nataka to dig into hii story because it's very interesting, because there are other characters wale wamekuwa wakihepa Gachagua lately. And but here Cleophas Malala, I have to say that I'm actually surprised. If this ends up being the truth and if this ends up happening, this is actually going to surprise me, because kuna vile the exit ya Malala from UDA was very, I think the word to use ni acrimonious. Ilikuwa like very bitter, and I didn't expect that Ruto would somehow be able kumleta karibu tena. But I guess maybe his second name tells us something about that. But wacha tusikie vile story ilikuwa reported na Citizen. So kwa Citizen, Gachagua alidismiss anything about Malala leaving, but ali acknowledge that some traitors have left.
Kinara wa DCP Rigathi Gachagua amewapuzilia mbali viongozi wanaendelea kujitenga naye, akisema wanaoondoka walikuwa majasusi wa Rais William Ruto chamani mwake. Takriban wabunge 10 kutoka Mount Kenya wamemtema Gachagua wakidai kuchezewa shere katika jitihada zao za kupata tikiti ya kugombea mwaka ujao.
So one of the characters hapa ule alitoka hii party ni get in trouble, ama ni mina Ian in trouble, like this was like 7 months back, because we knew he was a fake one. And I think when we did that, of course mimi nilibashiwa nikambo sijui chochote kile nasema, alafu Ian akakuwa bashed for always agreeing with me. And you'll know which character we are talking about. And I'd want to know, because since at that point Gachagua used to support this guy, so now that Gachagua is not supporting the guy, does Ian and Mwaf know what they were talking about? Okay, wacha tusikize.
Alikuja kwa meno ya juu baada ya mmomonyoko wa bunge na viongozi wanaomuunga mkono ambao wameanza safari ya kukigura chama chake cha DCP na kujitenga naye. Kinara wa DCP Rigathi Gachagua, ambaye amekuwa akipunga unyunyu pamoja na baadhi ya viongozi wanaomuunga mkono kule Kilifi, akianza kwa kufutilia mbali madai ya kutemwa na naibu wake Cleophas Malala.
Cleo Malala alikuwa Kakamega na ile Malala Super Cup. Alafu akapata homa kali sana.
Okay. So I am in DCP to stay, and those people propagating lies and disinformation that I have left this DCP party to UDA, I want to tell them categorically that I'm here to stay.
Gachagua akiwarejelea waliotangaza kuvuka sakafu hivi punde.
Waliotangaza kuvuka sakafu. And the first character ni anaitwa Koimburi. Na Koimburi kwa nakumbuka last year And right now, I think we can agree, even the Gachagua supporters can agree, that he staged his own abduction and it was so poorly done. So I remember tukireact to his story was only jam kabisa, but to revisit that. But he ilikuwa the first character ku decamp, and I think I know why he decamped, but wacha tusikize.
Akimwelekezea mashambulizi mbunge wa Juja George Koimburi aliyetangaza talaka yake na Gachagua wiki iliyopita.
Kama huyo mmoja alitaka apewe direct ticket, namwambia hakuna. DCP ni chama cha kidemokrasia.
Unakuja hapo unaambiliwa wewe ndio tutapea ticket. Mwingine akikuja na anataka the same position, anaambiwa pia wewe nitakupea ticket. DCP hakuna pahali inaenda. Hiyo ilikuwa moto tu ya manyasi, tumeizima.
Atikile raino ongeambaya juu ya DCP hakuna mahali inaenda. Ilikuwa tu moto ya Do you think DCP hakuna mahali inaenda? I think DCP is still very strong. But do I think that maybe these defections are not very good for the president, Nini, for Gachagua? Yes, because sometimes you need like all that, like 100% support, because there's always a few characters who will not like you. Najua you nakuaga, there is no block that votes 100% in one way. So with that in mind, but imekuwa interesting kucheki some of these defections. We'll come back to Koimburi, but some of these defections have been interesting.
Takriban wabunge 10 kutoka eneo la Mlima Kenya wamemwacha kiongozi huyo wa DCP mataani kwa mwaka mmoja uliopita, wakiwemo mbunge wa Githunguri Rigathi wa Mushomba, mbunge wa zamani wa Nyeri mjini Ngunjiri wa Mbogo na mwakilishi wa Maragwa Mary wa Maua.
His Excellency ako kwa rapi ya mwisho. Wacha tumpatie nafasi afanye kazi, miaka 5 ikiisha ndio tutaangalia scorecard yake iko namna gani.
Juu kama hii, Mary wa Maua, sijali. Ngunjiri, I think that's inconsequential. Wa Mushomba, it's interesting to see, because Wa Mushomba has been anti-Ruto from day one. So even if she ends up leaving Gachagua, I don't think she's going back to Ruto. Wa Maua, of course, Maua wenda na upepo, I think. Okay, I don't know if they say that. But now, this other character, man, the Nyeri Governor, they're like, where is the loyalty, man? Where is the loyalty? At some point iraegwe naongea mbaya sana juu ya rais. Saizi joina
Gavana wa Nyeri Mutahi Kahiga aliyehudhuria mkutano wa chama cha UDA katika ikulu ndogo ya Sagana Nyeri Jumamosi amekuwa akiuma na kupuliza kwa muda sasa, akiwasha taa ya manjano na ya kijani kibichi kwa wakati mmoja.
Mimi ni wa chama kipi? UDA. President wangu ni nani? Ni William Samoei. Rais, yale mambo yamebaki Nyeri, ukikamilisha mimi nitasema 2 term.
Acheki jo. Iraeli sema baba imebaki Nyeri akibadilika. Mimi nitasema ukimalisha, ukikamilisha. Yes, nitasema 2 term. So but let's go back to the Koimburi character, because umsanitwa Koimburi. It was very interesting. I remember like last year there's a point where Gachagua could do no wrong. Najua. And since Gachagua could do no wrong, it meant that everyone around him could do no wrong. So when the news came out that he'd been abducted, I remember tukiwatch the video itself, and even before DCI wasema that alikuwa mestage abduction yake, kuna watu walibaki wamejam na sisi. But the news that was first reported, of course, ilikuwa reported that this guy had been abducted. And ilikuwa interesting sana, because ilikuwa interesting. Why? Because this was during the wave of abduction. So kulikuwa na some level of abduction. So hii ina happen, ingine ina happen. So ilikuwaje? So iraya ikabaki imeji-abduct. And it was so pathetic because the clothes were clean, yet he was on the ground. So wanted to travel back in time. So let's look at this sort of character and see. I think it's even sad for Gachagua, because Gachagua went to see this dude in hospital. So yeah, they're like, oh, damn, man. Is this what loyalty means nowadays?
General Douglas Kanja and the Director of Criminal Investigations, Mohamed Amin, say Juja MP George Koimburi staged his abduction. The police leadership says Koimburi staged a kidnap drama, then retreated to the warmth of a hotel room where he spent the night comfortably, only to carry on with the drama the next day, with the dramatic show of being found in a coffee plantation. The lawmakers' advocates insist that this was no drama. Melita Oletenges reports on the arrest of the 3 associates of the Juja MP and other latest developments on the incident.
So hii story kuna kumbuka a few mistakes zilifanywa, like gari zilitumika for abduction, things ziko zinasemekana they could be traced back to this dude. Yeah, so I'll say why I think he's gone back to this other side, because there were consequences to this story's abduction. But wacha tucheki a few of the things that were said around your time abduction.
Videos that set social media ablaze Monday morning. Juja MP George Koimburi battered and bruised, looking like a victim of serious clobbering.
So nacheki ira ni serious clobbering, trouser ni chafu, but shati ya white ni safi, nyeupe kama pamba. Alafu nasikia alafu all of a sudden nimepatikana bado. Oh, damn man, Kenyan politics waga funny. And kulikuwa amezusha, was it like 7 months ago, endelea kuzusha hapo kwa comments, because I want to go back to your time vile also alizusha.
But now the mask has slipped and the honorable member is not so honorable, according to the police.
It is quite inconceivable for a honorable member of parliament to go to that extent of state managing his own abduction.
Let's hit rewind. This was the supposed moment of truth. Koimburi snatched by unknown assailants outside Full Gospel Church in Mugudha in broad daylight. But that suspicious Subaru with the skewed number plate KDQ 803B was just a disguise for the real deal KDG 803B. The vehicle, now impounded by the DCI, belongs to one of Koimburi's close associates, Cyrus Muhia.
Check it out. So he report ilitokeaga during that period, and I remember, of course, to react to the video, and also alikuwa amejam na sisi, and I understand loyalty, but I also don't understand this sort of loyalty ya Kenya where you're not supposed to question anything. And this is the sort of loyalty that makes us, even as a country, inakuwa very hard for us to advance. Why? Because we feel like for us to support leaders, we have to support them wholeheartedly. And I always talk about history and the way that history remembers people. And this is dedicated to boy naitwa Alex Macharia. Alex Macharia nakutafuta, ulini challenge, nikasema naweza taka sana ku have like a debate na wewe where you let your heart out and talk about ignorance, because this is something Alex Macharia is not going to like. But one thing mupendaka juu American history, even when you look at someone like Abraham Lincoln, itakuwa like, yes, this is the guy who alisign the proclamation, emancipation, hiyo, like alifree the slaves. But still, what was the idea behind him freeing the slaves? He was freeing the slaves because he did not think that black people could be equal to whites. So alikuwa anataka after were free, they are sent back to Africa. But what happened? There was a war. And the war was for the Union. And who helped to win the war? Yeah, the unions. It was the black people. And this is around the same time black people wakakuwa like promised 40 acres and a mule, which of course they never got. But yes, so you're shown these sides of this leader, that this leader had this, but there was this ugly side. Sisi tunataka tu kuonyesha wasa wakiwa perfect. So when you're like, I understand Ruto is abducting, but this abduction makes no sense. This Koimburi character has just come from court for a corruption case, and then all of a sudden he's abducted. How does this make sense to you? Already life yake ni hell. So why would Ruto lose that win that he was already getting against Koimburi? But tuendele kidogo.
The police detailing how Koimburi allegedly planned and executed his own abduction.
Cyrus Muhia stated that on 24th May 2025, he received a call from Peter Kirato, who is also the CDF chairman of Juja.
Matiki ira ya hata ikiplania abduction, at least inge plan abduction go like, you know what, kuna msi fulani anaitwa Mwafrika anafanyaga podcast ya IKONINI, acha niambie ira ya nisaidie na hiyo abduction. Na of course ningesema no, kusitaki kumess na some way. But at least ilitumia assistance juu the head of CDF, alafu hizi raya zikajipata mbele ya polisi zikasnitch haraka kabisa. So why has Koimburi decided to join Ruto? Because unaweza kuna shida like, why Mwafrika going on all this rant? He's decided to join Ruto because he was charged for this abduction. And you know, Ruto kitu moja juu yake na kuaga like, if he thinks you are an ally, he can somehow help you to stay away from facing the consequences of your actions.
IKONINI, najua mwaka ni mpya lakini injili ni ile ile LemFi. So kama uko US, uko UK, uko Canada ama uko the UAE na unataka kutuma do Kenya, baki umechangamka, ingia LemFi, utabaki umepata the most competitive rates. Lakini apart from that, on your first transaction ya $100 or more, utapata $20 sign up reward. So unangoja nini? Baki umechangamka, chap ingia LemFi. LemFi, international payments for everyone. IKONINI.
And I think that this is the same thing umsel kama kafikiria kaona like damn, maybe probability yake ya kupata the DCP ticket for Juja is very low, because maybe Gachagua actually means the thing that Gachagua is saying, that it's going to be a democratic process, so whoever wins. So if Koimburi knows that he's not going to win, why then risk his freedom? So he'd rather lose and still be free than lose and still lose his freedom. So wacha tusikie vile hii story really happened after now it had been proven that he'd staged his own abduction, and this is the point where Waswahili go like, he's being persecuted, he's being.
Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi has pleaded not guilty to orchestrating his own abduction.
It is after the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, informed the court the lawmaker had managed his abduction to avoid arrest and arraignment at the Kiambu law courts in a land fraud case.
Koimburi, who did not take plea last Wednesday with his 6 other co-accused, said he did not conspire to defeat justice in Mugudha area, Juja Sub-County, Kiambu County on 25th May 2025.
Trial Magistrate Ben Mark Ekubi released him on a cash bail of 300,000 shillings awaiting pre-trial.
I think Irai going face a land fraud case. Ja, hafu na cheki vile Irai na choma naingia kotini kwa hivi. Unajua, we understand when it's someone who's unknown trying to hide their face. I would not allow it if I was a judge, but I don't understand when such characters do it. And this is one of the reasons why kuna boy fulani yule last year alikuwa na legal troubles, and those legal troubles about fraud, and I spoke about him and a lot of people are not happy with it. But one thing I respect about that dude is he never hid his face. He faced his problems, and somehow he was able to rise again. He was able to clear some of those debts, I think all debts. And all I can say is big up, man. Unajua, if as long as people get back their money, man, I'll be there in the front line supporting you and everything. But now let us go back to his story, because kona shindwa why I was highlighting this story is I wanted us to look at how divisive Kenyan politics are, and how somehow it makes us like the politicians have such an easy job, because they always know they don't have to put in any effort. We are going to do all the work for them. So right now, what has Gachagua Nini? What has Gachagua learned? Of course, I think it's something that Gachagua knew, that some of these characters cannot be trusted. But what have we learned from this whole thing? If you're a Gachagua supporter and you're mad at Koimburi, maybe I need to take you back in time. And I need to take you back in time to ile time tulifanya show. And what was the name of this show? The name of this show ilikuwa ni Tension as Juja MP Koimburi found dumped after alleged abduction. Then kwa thumbnail kwa nimeandika staging his own abduction. Then sana itwa Fomike aliandika usiharibu podcast na kubonga vitu sensitive mwafu. Mimi mtu iko nini, but story kama hizi cheza tu chini, because tulisema ni self abduction. Alafu kuna msemina kaandika nini jo? Kuna mtu akaandika mwafu, kwa nini mnachekelea Mhesh na vile ana ranki wa Juja? Okay, that was not bad. Kuna msana anaitwa Paul wa Motito aliandika wacha ni unsubscribe. Puzi ingine si ya kutu waste your time. Yeah. Alafu kuna msaka andika hiyo si kipindi, ukijipata hapo ndio utajua ni real. And one thing I have to respect Gachagua with is the fact that he's not even come out and said, you know, this dude has no integrity, self-abducted himself. Yeah, I respect Gachagua for that, because otherwise mimi ningekuwa nimetokea hapo niko. Then namsema enyewe kwa hii mini episode mionyesha nyini maduanzi walai, the government has already taught us that if it's not them we will know within the shortest time possible. Nyini maduanzi. Then kuna msali comment ka yani kafukusui hata kushinda yule Zak hajui kumake speeches. Okay, sijui Zak alikuwa anafaa kumake speeches, I don't know. But yes, so kuna msali kwa, are you guys serious? What is so funny about this? What is funny is when an MP self-abducts using his head of CEF CDF and his personal assistant. It's funny. Why? Because at least have some nini. Then kuna msana itwa nini? Maraine Kirima aliandika unfollow IKONINI fake podcast. Martin Dhuranira disappointed and unsubscribing. I've been a follower of this channel, but I am deeply disappointed by this video discussing George Kaiburi alleges abduction, presenting such a serious and traumatic event as a staged event without credible evidence or a thorough investigation. It's not only irresponsible but deeply sensitive to the victim. Yes, so Iraeli andika hivyo. Mwaf, be careful with your content. Ground inasema uta and subscribe. So yes, this is what was happening. Wase walikuwa na threaten that wata unsubscribe. So I'd want to know the same people who believe that fake abduction. Right now that this guy has abandoned Gachagua because he stood for nothing. He was trying to save himself. He had a land fraud case. And instead of facing the consequences of the land fraud, he decided to self-abduct. And Gachagua had to play politics because you understand, like, politics is about emotion. So if you see this opportunity, even if it's a badly written script, you're going to try and support it. So that's why Gachagua supported it. So now what happens? Right now that this guy has abandoned Gachagua, was his abduction fake or was it still real? Kama we ni supporter wa Gachagua na ulikuwa umejam na mimi hiyo time, baki umeniambia hapa kwa comments. But go back to stories of Malala. What do you think about Malala? I think Malala might actually abandon Gachagua, not because of principle or because of anything, but because Ruto has something that Gachagua doesn't have, and that's money. And don't forget, supporting Gachagua, if you're part of the mountain, it's 100%. Let me say, because nothing is never 100%, but it's like 90% guaranteed that you're going to win a seat, especially if you are in the Kikuyu region. Central, unajua hizo akina Murang'a, Nyeri, Kiambu. Supporting Gachagua gives you like a 90% chance of winning. Supporting Gachagua while in Western, it's very 50-50. Because don't forget, even the party kama ODM, the one that was popular in Western, would still never win. Like, I've been on this podcast nikisema that the only reason that Ruto ended up being president was because of Wakishiba hawasumbui, Wetangula na Mudavadi. Why? Because these 200,000 votes zile especially Wetangula zilitoka Bungoma zikabaki zimeendea Ruto. These are the 200,000 votes zilitoka kwa saidi ya Raila zikaenda kwa saidi ya Ruto, and they helped swing the election. If you had to take that 200,000 votes from Nani anaitwa from Ruto, then Ruto now is at 6.9, and you throw them to the other side, now Raila is at 7.1. So Western has never been loyal to even a party like ODM. So why would Western be loyal to DCP? And I think this is now the thing that aitwa Malala na fight nayo. Ila naangalia like, you know what, I can go to this side, get a lot of money, because Ruto has a lot of money to spend, and, you know, leave this Gachagua guy. Gachagua on the other side is clutching on straws, and I don't know, but do I think his grip on the mountain is still there? Yes. Do I think people like Akina Wamushomba are underestimating him? Yes, they're underestimating him. Do I think people like Akina Moses Kuria wataendelea kumchukia? Yes, they'll continue hating him. Why? Because this guy came from nowhere. According to them, he's not paid his dues. So he's there and he's the kingpin. So like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? So hawa say wataendelea kumchukia. But ikikam to Akina the Malalas of this world, unajua, they need to get that soft landing. Alafu apart from that, of course, tukiangalia the Koimburis is you stage your fake abduction, and now you find yourself, you not only have your land fraud case, you also have another case, abduction. You don't want that. What's the easier way? Maybe you look at the probability of getting the ticket at DCP, it's next to 0. So what do? You go back to this other side and hopefully that Ruto, who's been making his allies' cases disappear into thin air, makes your case disappear into thin air. So yeah, that's what nafikiria Joy story ya Gachagua. Do I think Gachagua is going to survive easy defections? Yes, because it's the mountain. I think the mountain is still very Gachagua. It's going to take something else to convince me. His stories akina Leo Mudhede, I think those ones nitaziangalia kama I can never judge the Embu region and the Meru region. But one thing I think I can judge is the Kikuyu vote. And I think the Kikuyu vote, the majority of that basket is going to follow what Gachagua says. Najua. And I still think that's safe. So, baki umeniambia hapa kwa comments kama unafikiria abduction ilikuwa real na bado mimi ni mtiaji. Baki umeniambia. The only thing tasema like thank you for not unsubscribing 7 months ago. Good morning. IKONINI.